afternoon, whatever time you are tuning in. Any of you remember I used to greet you like that? So I'm following up my promise. I told you guys that I'm going to make a video about hot and cold, and I hope that this video will address a lot of the questions that you had for me in emails. I don't really enjoy, or I don't rely too much on email communication in terms of uncovering certain subjects because a lot gets lost. A lot of things gets lost in the email because you can't really. Sometimes you can misread things. Sometimes, well, there is also a little bit of a language barrier sometimes, right? And not even that. Uh, a lot of people have fights in communication because they misread something or misunderstood something. I just had the situation yesterday with somebody who misunderstood me over the email and took things very personally, or messaging and took things very personally when it wasn't about them. It was just miscommunication in a message. So, without further ado, we're going to talk today about why hot and cold does not work on Eastern European women, and I would say on any women with high self-esteem in general. There are so many channels right now on internet, on YouTube, where people talk, especially men, of course, talk about really heartless manipulating techniques, and a lot of them are based on the hot and cold method. Is when when men change their, once they get the woman, they change their dynamic, or they change their ways, such as, for example, you work hard, so to speak, to gain woman's trust and attention, and then all of a sudden when things get closer, when she opens up to you, and especially when she becomes intimate with you, you drop communication. Like, this is the really very heartless, manipulative move that emotionally unavailable and in general very unresourceful, insecure men apply. I my ears are bleeding when I listen to the pickup artist channels. They, I have to say, they do teach some good communication skills because unfortunately some people don't don't have a personality to lacking don't have a personality. I don't know how else to say it. Don't really have an interesting way of communicating. So, I guess you can take a good piece of information just about anywhere. But the manipulation techniques are very brutal and would be extremely painful for women. That's why, women should never engage with men who do not invest in them and commit to them. That's a whole another message. But um, yeah, that's a whole another video. So, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh, thank you so much. I want to thank David for a super cash app super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate. I'm gonna blush if I read your comments. So thank you. I'm gonna be the color of my coat. Thank you, David, so much. I appreciate. I appreciate that you guys find a way to watch and support, and while I'm on a bad side of YouTube, but it's part of that is my responsibility. So anyway, what was I talking about? These techniques would never work on a woman that have a healthy self-esteem, because once you realize that the man you're with becoming inconsistent all of a sudden, when you trusted him, when you let him in your life, when you let him in your space, when you maybe introduce him to your family and friends, and he finally earned your trust and he becomes inconsistent, the healthy response of a woman is just, I would say, not even try to lecture him, but just remove herself from the situation. But unfortunately, we don't have, the healthy relationships are not exciting. People are not going to make a sensation from talking about it, right? Um, Therefore, I think it's important when reaching out for advice, it's important to know what you want to get as a result. Do you just want to have, if you're a man and you have nothing to offer, you are scared, you are crippled from your past mistakes, and all you want is try to use women? Yeah, maybe that advice is great for you, but just think about the long run. It's probably not going to be the most satisfying dynamic. I'm gonna continue, but I want to read this comment. Hello, Witch Master General. It's so official. The cold method typically refers to a pattern of behavior where someone alternates between showing strong interest or affection, hot, and then withdrawing or acting indifferent. Yes, very, very true. Yes. And becoming inconsistent after being very hot or love bombing and very consistent, the person just drops from the, not necessarily drops from the place, from the face of earth, but becoming very, starting to ignore you and becoming very distant all of a sudden. Often used in flirting or relationships dynamic to manipulate the other person's emotions by creating sense of uncertainty and desire to gain their attention. You should just simply you should just simply start, jump on and continue the video. But yes, that's very accurate. Yes, people use that to create this source of uncertainty, uh, sort of urgency, and other things like that. The cold is for shock value. Yes, the cold is for shock, for fear, for adrenaline, adrenaline boost. Women bond. The closer your relationship become, the stronger women bond. We do bond. It takes a while for us to get close, but once we bond with that man, and that's why it is so painful for a woman, and she's a lot of times ready for just about anything um to gain you back as a man. But here's why these techniques do not work with Eastern European women, and I would say women from traditional cultures in general, and simply women with a high self esteem, with the adequate self esteem. Uh, Thanks, Steven. Welcome. Of course, I'm well. How can somebody wear a bright pink jacket and not be well? Tell me. How that's even possible? I don't think it is. So, from my coaching practice, with the men that I worked with, generally I didn't have many men with a request that they would be willing to even spend money with me to learn how to manipulate. And if I would have a client like that, I would just not take on, because we are not in middle school, and most of my clients were, I would say, 40, 45 plus anyway. I think it's kind of ridiculous when you try to play games when you start to lose hair and you have gray hair on your head. I think it's kind of, it's a sad state of things, and this is not kind of man that I would be helping. But because of this day and age where everyone teaches some kind of manipulation, and um, women are starting to believe that if the guy is showing up and if he's um, really puts effort, that for some reason, I don't know who started this trend here in the United States, that that is desperate. That is desperate when the man shows up and start taking care of a woman. Or in the United States, they call men like this simps, which is really hilarious because men who create these names really usually don't have nothing to show to anybody. They usually not men that can support their own mama. They're usually men who don't have anything, anyone, and they come to their middle age with nothing. You know, as we say in Ukraine, not a dog, not a cat, not a house, not a financial stability, nothing. And then they call every man a simp because they cannot provide stability, financial security, or anything of value to a woman. So before you listen to that, just think what result you want to get. The reason why most Slavic women, Eastern European, or any other women with classical beliefs will not buy or decide to chase you when you show them affection and then disappear is simply because they're better than that. It's simply because we were taught to judge a man by his actions, and a man who cannot follow up his word is not worth of our time. Um, it means that everything he ever said was a lie, and there is nothing that could be done. It's not that you can never become a victim of this situation, but once a Slavic woman realized that she was played, that this man was never for real, he never, she cannot trust his words because once she became close to him and opened up to him and got on a more intimate level of relationship with him, if he disappeared, she will not going to take on the masculine role and start chasing him. She might feel pain, she might feel disappointment, she might feel very almost like female version of anger. I guess it's kind of anger, but she's not going to put her running shoes on and try to go and run after this man because she realized that he has nothing to offer. If he has the heart, the nerve to let her down so early on, if she just realized that this is a person that cannot be trusted. She's not in our culture. Usually, we have too much pride in a feminine way to be calling a man, to be texting a man, to be following his social media because it's just not a female role. It's just not a woman's role. I've noticed that here in the United States, even very young girls, the younger girls, the teenagers even, very often pursuing men because I guess they were just not taught that that is purely men's role. And when for us, when the man blows cold, we realize that this man is inconsistent and he's either playing a game or he lost interest. And in both cases, we are not interested. We are better than trying to chase him, trying to check where he is and blow up his phone. It's just it shows us that this man did not pass the test, and unfortunately we made a mistake. And it's going to be very difficult for him if you're kind of guys that likes games and manipulations. It's going to be very difficult for you to gain the trust back. I would not recommend. Some men told me before that this is how we testing women, whether they are serious about us and so on and so forth. Yeah, I would not recommend this kind of testing because this testing is going to end in a bad predicament. This testing is going to end in a very bad predicament because it takes so long to create trust, and it takes just a brief moment, or it takes very little to break it. And once again, the answer to the reasons why is very, very simple, is that if we read man's behavior, man's action as a language, when he suddenly becomes cold or ignores or inconsistent, that just communicates to us that unfortunately he is not, he is trying to hurt us for some reason. He lost his interest. He is disrespectful. He cannot be trusted. And all of the above. So why would a woman that has, let's just say, adequate self-esteem would want to pursue a man, would want to be in a relationship with a man like this? Like, what would be the reason for a woman that is not desperate, that knows that, that knows her value without being, conceited, but she just knows her value? Why would she want to try to run against her nature and chase that guy? Yeah, it's very cruel. It is very cruel for sure. Hey, Adrian. Yeah, we are living in a world where people praise each other on using each other, for whatever gain, for whatever things. That's why these games are becoming more popular. Some men, there are literally multiple channels that advise men, if you want her to be in love with you, just be inconsistent, be unresponsive. And that's the opposite. That just, at first, as a woman, you feel pain, and then you realize you cannot lose what you never had. I would just say this: you absolutely cannot lose what you never had. So if the man showed you interest and he was involved and he put time, effort, finances, everything that he put to gain your trust, which is a process, and then all of a sudden, abruptly, he is gone. It means that it's very possible that this was a game. He cannot be trusted. And for women who are going through a breakup, I know it's very, very difficult, but one thing to understand is, um, once again, you can't lose what you don't have. A man that's value you would never lose, would never go, would never let you doubt his love, would never leave you vulnerable so some other man can take advantage of you. Um, or you can hurt yourself. Men who are in love, they are very, very protective of their woman, whether it's emotionally, physically, financially. They try to make your life better, not to add more stress, not to see you in tears, not to see you doubting, not to, so somebody gave you protection, somebody had a vision, a plan, and then they suddenly leave. That just tells a woman that this man either has a lot of problems he never resolved, um, issues, but most likely is insecure man who is not stable and who is, there is something is off. I don't know if he's in fear. I don't know if he's just playing games. I don't know if he's married. Maybe God knows, what's there, right? We don't know what it is. But one thing is for sure, he cannot be trusted. So the thing about Slavic and Eastern European women, they are not going to be running after you. Doesn't matter what you have, doesn't matter what you promise. When you show that, you really brings them so much pain, and you are the one that's losing. Because a woman was a, there are certain types of women that you're very lucky to even have a chance with them, and when you miss out on the chance, when you ignore, um, when you ignore, when a woman tells you, I'm worried when I don't hear from you, or the weekend had passed and I saw, when she got used to certain things and those things disappear, you're no longer providing those things, and she gives you also a sign that she's uncomfortable, she's worried, she's vulnerable, and you do not respond. um don't be surprised that if you wanted to use that to make her more excited to be with you, you're so wrong about it. And don't be surprised if she just will never trust you again. So, yeah, you can't lose something you never had. A person that invested in you emotionally, financially, with their time and effort, generally, if they are adequate, they're not going to just leave and drop everything. It's okay sometimes, sometimes people need a break. They're tired, they had too much going on. And this is where you warn and you say, I'm so sorry, but I just need a few days for myself. I am one of, I'm one of these people. Sometimes when I have too much on my plate, I just cannot be found. And sometimes family and friends can hold grudges, but after all, you should own your own time. What did I say? You should own your own time. Yes, but you should own your own time. Therefore, we all sometimes need to understand that people sometimes need a break, but the person who needs a break would be very responsive and, will let you know, will put you in a consideration. So, in traditional culture, women are also very important. In traditional culture, women are used to be pursued, be highly sought after. They are used to men competing for them. There is absolutely nothing wrong. A lot of men that I deal with through my coaching, they are worrying about, is there any other men that are pursuing her? Oh, I saw her with flowers or with a gift from somebody else. Well, you proposed to her? Have you officially made her yours? No. So how can you have demands on her time and on her commitment if you had not provided her a guarantee that you ain't going nowhere, that you are staying? How can you make the demand that so she has to take herself off the market, while tomorrow, since you have not proposed, you had not claimed responsibility, tomorrow you may wake up and say, you know what, this is too much, or I am not happy, and just leave, and she missed out on all the other opportunities. I think that is very masculine and very strong, and very, it shows a man who sticks to his decisions and who is very confident and knowing that he's resourceful and a provider deep down and protector. When he knows he met his woman, he sets the record straight, he makes the move. He doesn't wait years and then accusing her of cheating if she receive the gifts of flowers from somebody else. But people do, if when people do not see that somebody claimed that woman, men going to approach her. She may not tell you this because she doesn't want you to be jealous, because she does love you and she wants to be with you, but she cannot make manly moves for you. She can become a man for you. It's like, I'm gonna say this analogy, it's like going to a car dealership. Imagine, guys, don't ever be jealous of women's admirers, especially if she shows you trust. Just take your steps, don't worry about other men. If you're interested in her, somebody else also is. It's just they're not complacent like you are. Imagine you're going to a dealership and you see the car of your dreams, I don't know, Lamborghini, or I don't know, Bentley, or I don't know what it is, Austin Martin. You see the most amazing car. and you come to the dealership owner, and you start on, oh, this car is so beautiful. Oh, I love the design. Oh, I love the shape. Oh, I love the color. Oh, it's a dream. Oh my gosh, it's a pure dream. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. The shop owner, the manager would be like, yeah, yep, mm-hmm, yep. And now what? If you do you think that the owner of the salon is going to just give you the keys, sign no documents, make no sale, and just tell you, you know what, Gary, you are such a wonderful guy. I think what I'm gonna do, since you love this car so much and you admire it so much, let me just give you the keys. Yes, we don't have to do anything formal. I trust you. You seem to be like a trustworthy person. Just ride it, try it, and then see, like, months, year. If you feel like this car is really worthy of you, you know, go ahead and come and pay for it. We're gonna make it official. We're gonna make documents. Do you think this ever happens? If you try to just drove away from the parking lot with the car of your dreams, they're gonna call police on you. Um, and the car owner, after you said enough of those buttery butter compliments, the salon owner gonna look at you like you are an idiot. And this is, my friends, how women feel about it. When all you do is just say compliments all day long and you get emotional and you're like, oh, I've never met anyone like you. Yes, it could be true. But now what? What are you going to do about it? This is where most men lose. My very first client was a guy, a wonderful guy from England, who had a most beautiful woman in every way, most classy and educated and elegant, and he almost lost because he kept on this bullshit. He kept on writing her long letters and telling her, oh my god, I met you, I can't believe. And he all she was waiting to see, she believed him, she felt the same way, but all she was waiting to see is him first taking care of certain things that she needed help with. Second, meeting her parents and proposing. That's all. And I helped him out with that because he was going to send her this 10, I don't know, like 10 pages letter. And I told him, listen, if you want to lose her, send her this letter with all this tears and fluff. I told him, save this letter after you live together for 5, 7, 10 years. She will love that. She will absolutely love it. But right now, all she needs, all she wants from you is for you to make a move and propose. That's all. And he was very surprised. He said, really? Then we connected later, and he told me that she told him later that she was going to break up with him because he was procrastinating with decisions. He thought he needs to write more poems and more poetry, where she needed to know that he's for real. There is no way for a woman to know that you are for real as a man unless you make significant investment and commitment. This way we really do know, because you have to understand, women can be very uh, humble and well, and even if they're highly sought after, they're not gonna tell you. They would be shy to tell you that, I have this guy in my mail. I have this guy. I have this guy for 7 years trying to court me. I have this guy for since high school. I have this guy in these messages. Um, like, she's not gonna tell you this, but if she gives you that opportunity, you need to take it, and not, and show her with providing, protecting, and committing. If you don't show all the three, how does she know that your blah 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 is real? You may feel magical, you may feel like you won the lottery, you may feel like you're the lucky guy, because you met somebody so very special on so many levels. But if you do not take the opportunity, um, she has literally no other way to differentiate you from the other man that she has. That's all. End of story. Okay, just one second. Okay. Thank you guys for your comments. I really appreciate it. One of the best thing you can do for me is subscribe and put a like and comment either here in the live chat or when the video is over. Black cat does not chase after the man. Yes, generally women are a little bit more like cats. They should not, if you're trying to understand a woman, think about the cat. You can convince a cat. You can ask cat for love. You can't grab a cat and pull it toward you. You need to give the cat the right amount of time to feel like she wants to come closer to you. Um, yeah, when the man wants you, when he likes you, he's with you, he's in your life. He doesn't. You don't have a question. You don't doubt it. Does he love me still, or he doesn't? If you have to doubt as a woman, then he doesn't. It's very painful. Trust me. I know how painful it is to realize it. But if he is not consistent, he doesn't. Um, I've been run down a couple of times. Don't know what that means, but I'm sorry to hear that. Nova is saying pink lips and a pink coat. Quite the combo. Thank you, Nova. I appreciate that. Yes. By the way, I do have a fur shop. Shameless plug. You can buy a similar coat for your lady if you want to make you a nice gift. I will post on my all my links under the video in a couple of hours. I like the chase. Yes, I've heard that men love the chase. If I was a man, I think I would love the chase too. It's like when you go to hunt, you don't want the deer to just fall into your hands, right? Like how lame that would be. You were trying to hunt and the deer just falls into your hands. Just falls dead, so you didn't really do anything. Men are built for hunt, yes. Which master general do the men who go cold give expensive gifts before going cold? This is more rare, I would say. I've never experienced that. Usually, when men gives you, invest in you financially and give you some valuable things and helps you with some things financially. Usually, he doesn't go cold. I have not had this experience. I think it's more rare. It's only possible if this man is actually not free and maybe he's courting a much younger woman and he's married and he's hiding that. Yeah, he might go cold. Hey, Jason. Adrian says if you're in, you're in. Yes. Mm-hmm. Thank you guys for the comments. So yes, despite of what these channels is manipulation channels and all teaching men, to be mysterious, to not show up, to not pick up the phone, to drop the attention while she's into you. With a woman that has respect for herself, that is smart, that emotionally intelligent, she's just going to look at you and say, well, another one of those guys. She's just going to realize that you cannot be trusted. And the problem is, once you betray trust of a woman, it's like betraying trust of a child. She can never feel the same about you. So if you are fearful about commitment and then you realize you made a mistake, you'll have to work 10 times harder to convince her that you will not do that again. I don't even know if that is possible. Because the person that is meant for us, it's the husband who finds the wife, right? Finds a good thing. And the man who meant to be for you, is most likely not going to ghost you, ignore you, pretend you don't exist, let you be in dark and cold alone. Is he meant to be your husband if he meant to be with you? Like I had never heard the story like, oh, he ignored me, he was so inconsistent, um he was disappeared, he was ghosting me, but then he proposed. I've never really heard, unless he's a psychopath, I've never really heard that. Usually people want, especially people, I'm talking about people who are more mature, people 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus, when you already had enough of BS in your life and you want something real, you treat it in a special way. You don't take it for granted because you know how it is when you are lonely. Even if you're in a relationship but you are lonely, you know how that feels. So when you meet somebody that special, you are not just going to not treat it as special. And once again, in a classic culture, in more traditional cultures like Eastern Europe, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe some like other like Turkish, Arabic, men work very, very hard to gain women's trust, to also establish themselves with her family. So if you drop the ball, most likely you will not be taken seriously ever again because the woman realize that there is nothing of values that you can offer to her and you can be trusted, and what the heck is she gonna do with you, right? Not much. Not much you're good for if you betrayed her trust. So that's it. I think that women who are went under influence of feminist culture, they like, oh, I'm gonna make him, I'm gonna change him, I'm gonna show him. A lot of women basically buy men here. They offer to pay half of the bills or more. They buy men things. I even see it with a very, very young people. Women are pursuing, they are calling, they are messaging, um, they are sending gifts. Like they're taking a very role of a pursuer, which I think when a relationship goes further, like I don't know, months, years, it's okay for a woman when it's, this man does so much for you. It's okay sometimes for a woman to do some very sweet and unpredictable things. I think it's a wonderful thing, but a woman cannot lead in a relationship, and she cannot make the man chase her, and she cannot chase uh him, because when the woman does it, everything falls apart. I think maybe only very insecure. I don't know. I don't know any relationship where the woman was a chaser and was more interested than a man. I don't know any relationship like that who worked out. That worked out unless that man is a total lazy slob. But once again, in a traditional culture, women expect a man to prove himself, to gain her trust, to the closer they become, the more proactive he becomes, and the more responsibility he takes, and the more he put effort and investment, not the other way around. So basically, if that happened, a woman just cuts her losses and goes about her life. All the channels are made, all these manipulative channels are praying for men who have wounded ego and that have no emotional intelligence of their own, and they're trying to get back to their mothers this way, that maybe we're not good mothers, or they're trying to get even with the women that left them or didn't choose them. This is how they teach us those manipulation techniques. When you put a woman like on drug addiction toward you basically, but it only happens because those men, they are completely lost. um they don't really have a plan or vision for their life, because nobody in their 50s and 60s want to be chasing, don't, don't want to be doing this stuff. And they know that these men were rejected by women before, and they want them to get even, to now hurt women, to get trust and then hurt them. So yeah, it's a very sad dynamic, but thank God that a traditional culture such as Slavic, such as, I don't know, Turkish, Arabic, I don't know, maybe some Hispanic cultures, we still have common sense and we see past it. We don't buy men, we don't chase men, we don't mess up the dynamic, the polarity in the roles. Yeah, red pill, all these things. Red pill is, I don't know, it depends on whatever, but they definitely do. Um, they definitely were rejected at some point. It happens, life is tough, right? All right, guys. I just wanted to come out. I promise you that I'm gonna be making live videos for months, and then maybe I will start doing much shorter videos, pre-recorded, something like that. We're gonna try that. But if you enjoy my live talks, please subscribe to my channel if you want to hear them again. If you do not enjoy it and you suffer in watching me, please find what you love and enjoy that. Um, Jason says my favorite are the lives. Yeah, same for me. I love lives. I have a couple of favorite channels, and I'm addicted to lives too. I can understand you completely. Some people do not enjoy the live format, the long format, which I respect as well. I don't have any of my moderators today, so I cannot post any of my links, how you can support the channel, but you can support it right now with a like. And if you enjoy it, if you're new, please subscribe. Share some topics you want to hear on below. And thank you so much for stopping. I can also, once the channel will get a heartbeat, we can have guests. Would love having guests so we can have interesting discussions. I hope that I answered your questions. Yes, if you love a woman, if she's special for you, don't try those pickup artist techniques on her. Because believe me, she's seen everything in her life except for the men that do not play games. So be the man that knows better than that. Jason is saying hanging out with you is sanity and balance. Thank you so much, Jason. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I really love the feedback. Thank you. I feel the same when I see the comments, the people. It's nice to have a space where you can talk about things. Yes. Thank you so much for coming. My lives are going to be in the evening during the weekdays, anywhere from like 5:30 to 8, anywhere in between that time. So Dark Pleasure is saying nice pink fur. Yes, it's very pretty. And I'm gonna post a link to my Etsy store. Uh, I sell beautiful things and mostly retro, mostly glamorous. But even if you're not into it, you can take a look. If you had an URL, Jason, I should make you a moderator, and then I'll send you all my link. Let's see if I can make you a mod. Oi, no. Okay, so I'm gonna send to your email or your messages. I'm gonna send you all my important links and URLs, so you can help me on the lives. Can you? Okay, let's see. Uh, yes, you are a moderator. You cannot see it right now. You'll have to come back to see, but you're going to. Oh yes, you see it. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jason, and thank you everybody. Everybody who is new, thanks so much for coming. I really, really love it. But it's getting dark, and I have to go. You can see how the picture becoming blurry without the light. I've decided not to use any filters today. I just want to be myself. We have enough of filters in our lives. All right. Au revoir. I'll see you, my dear friends. Please post below what do you think about the topic, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that.